Today I'm going to paint a mandarin orange with leaves, and I'm going to show you how the painting around the area. First, I want to give a little simple drawing. First, you need to work out the space. I decided to make it a little smaller, so I'm going to make it a little smaller. This is almost right in the middle of the top over here. It's about down here and make a little curve, and this is one of the leaf. And let's see, where's the bottom? It's about here. Now we come in to see where's the shadow side. There's some catch the shadow from the leaf. And some catch the shadow shape over here. Now I'm gonna define what's the area for the catch the shadow. Okay, coming over here and moving in. And about stop right here. First, I'm going to set some light colors onto those green shades. And then after that, I was going to paint around the green shape for the orange color. Okay, I'm using this number 10 sable round brush. And we're just going to take, when we talk about colors, it's not as simple as, oh, it's a green colors. And you need to know that what is the intensity of the color as well. By looking at this color, a little bit too intense. I need to have some red color. I see some red color on the over here. And this is more as the color that we look for. Okay. So by adding the complementary colors, you actually make the color less intense. Let's do it from here. I'm going to focus on the green leaf. I'm going to continue onto this leaf. There is a lighter over here, so I'm going to just leave it there, untouch it. And later part of the painting process, and I will come back to add another layer to define the darker values inside this shape. And I'm going to give a little blue colors because it looks a little bit more blue underneath here. Again, we're going to add some darker color tone later. I'll come back to remix the green color that I want. But I need to add a little red colors. I'm going to take the red color over here. Okay, this is good. This is the color that we look for. It's pretty easy by using only the 3 primary colors, which is the key of my painting system for watercolor. You don't really need other colors unless for a special purpose. And I'll come to here to have the stem connect to the leaf. Okay. And under here has a little bit more orange-ish colors because reflected by the orange. Over there. I'm gonna have a little bit lighter of these colors and connecting over here. I want to have this a little bit lighter, and I can do that with lifting off while this is still wet. Okay, that's good. And I'm going to soften this a little bit. Okay, that's good. Maybe have this color. Like that. Okay, little soft connected. Now I'm going to use this number 12 round brush. It's sable hair. I'm going to start from the top, but when I paint, I want to paint around the green colors. If I wanted it a little bit lighter, I would use a little bit more water into it. Okay, now I'm going to start from the top over here. Like that. And paint it around the green colors. I'm going to keep going down so that, and it looks like I need a little bit more yellow. At the top here. A little bit more water. I want to keep a little bit lighter. Coming down. I'm going to make sure you have enough water in the brush so that the color will keep on being wet a little bit longer. And move your brush a little bit faster. With a good brush, you can paint in very small areas. And get into this area. I refill the color so the color a little bit more consistent. Now we get to this area. A small shape. That's good. Now the color merged together. The consistency is very important. Now we come to this side. It's getting dry now, so I'm gonna do it a little quicker. And on this side, it's getting a little bit darker, and actually a little darker color can be just taking a little bit red, a little bit blue and yellow colors. This is the three colors that I use. Anyway, I'm gonna put in this color. Looks like a little brownish colors on this side. I tap on it for those texture. Now I'm going to start working into the shadow side. Okay, start on this side, it's still a little light. Now coming down over here, I think I need a little bit more of yellow colors. Especially over here, I'm going to tap on, add a little yellow color in it. Now I'm going to start making it much darker in the shadow side. On the darker colors, there will be a little bit more blue, a little bit more red, and some yellow colors. So I'm going to take this color and adding it into the green colors. And that's good. Get a little bit more blue, and I have a little bit more blue over here. Okay, maybe a little bit yellow. Okay, this is good. I'm going to start in the termination area. There's some texture, so I just tap on it. They have the small dot for the texture as it going. That's good. Now on this side, the color changed a little bit. Has a little bit orange color because a little reflection, a little reflected light coming from the tables, and make the color a little bit lighter again. Even a little bit lighter, but it's not going to be as light as the light side. Okay, add a little more yellow colors. And this, a little bit red. Okay. But when you get close to the bottom, it actually darker again. So I'm going to use a little lifting up technique to make this a little bit lighter. And here a little bit lighter. I'm going to add a little fresh color back here. A little bit later. Okay. Make it a little bit lighter and get a little reflected feeling. Okay, this is good. What I want to do now, I want to go into the cast shadow area. It's not ready to go into this area yet. It's still a little too wet for details and the cast shadow. So now I'm going to do this, and then I return back here to readjust the orange texture. Okay, I'm going to start with this gray colors. Look like this. This is good. So when you are looking for colors, first you are going to look for the colors that already in your mixing area before you looking into the original color. Okay, I'm going to soften the edge a little bit later by using a little more water to it. On this side, it actually has a little more cooler colors, a little bit away from the orange. Now it gets closer and closer, it got a little bit more and more red. It's not dark enough, so I'm gonna take this color, just this color. We know under here is very, very dark because there's no light get into the areas, and we can take care of that with another overlay wash. Over here has very orange colors. So this is good. We have kind of a gradient color from the blue colors. They're getting a little bit darker and darker and get a little bit warmer and warmer. But right now I'm gonna really need to make some really darker color first, and then if it's not dark enough, I'm gonna go into to add another overlay wash later. The very dark color, there will be mixture of the red and the blue colors. Okay, here. I'm just gonna tap on it to let the color blur and dissolve into the wet color already on the paper. This is good for now. I will fix that later when I come back. Now I'm gonna look into the side. I want to make it a little bit softer. So what I'm gonna do, I just used just the clean water. Softly let the color connecting to outside the shape. Okay, a little softer. Here you go. As soon as the outside area also wet, the color will travel into that. Now this way, we make the edge a little bit softer. And also on this side. Make this even a little lighter, so just use it to soften it one more time. And we're gonna take out the pencil later. Oh, they already come back. There is just a water drop, which is okay. What I want to do now, I want to show you how to fix this kind of problem by using a large brush. I'm going to take this color first, start from a little lighter, the blue colors. And now one more time, I'm going to continue with a little darker colors. You only use the bigger brush in order to fix this kind of problem. It usually is a small brush and the problem gets bigger and bigger because you get more and more small texture. So what I want to do over here too, I'm going to add a little bit more red and yellow colors. Just use the corner this big brush. And the same thing over here. Okay, looks good. Okay, now the catch the shadow has been fixed, and we need more work in the shadow side of the orange, but this is okay. What I want to do now, I want to come up here. I'm going to take care of the catch the shadow area. What I want to do, first I'm going to wet this area first, wet the edge. It depends on how soft the shape that you want it to be, and then you can decide how much water that you're going to put on to the surface. At the same time, be a little bit careful that you are not going to disturb the color underneath. And if you use a very stiff brush, and you might get the color removed. Okay, now what I want to do, I'm going to get a little bit more red, some yellow color, and I'm going to add in a little blue colors. That's good. I get a little bit more of this color here. Good. I want the color a little bit thicker. Now I'm going to start over here. Catch the shadow. And then come to this side. Another catch the shadow over here. Okay, a little bit over here, maybe not so dark. So now I'm going to come here to refine this area even a little bit more. And over here around the bottom of the stem, have some catch the shadow. Good. Okay, now what to do now, I'm going to start using this bigger brush. Now refine adjust the color a little bit. At first, I'm going to get a little more yellow colors, a little bit more fresh colors. When you are looking at the light side, the color always a little bit fresh. Okay. Now come down here, soften it. Get a little bit more red when you get into this transition. Just tap, tap. That's good. Now the color looks good. And the bottom over here looks a little bit more, a little bit darker, has a little transitions. What I want to do now is still put it wet, so this is okay. And then you have to focus, you have to pay attention to how much water that you want to include in the brush. Okay, I don't want to get too much, otherwise the water would get into the wet area and making a messy look. So in my brush, the colors is actually not so much wet. Just gonna tap, and so I have a little bit transition. Tap on it, tap, tap. That's good. Now I'm gonna also use this color, maybe make it a little darker, and have a little bit of those texture. I need to make a little darker color for the transitions. Add a little bit more blue. Okay, especially here. Okay, a little darker, I feel. Okay, this is pretty good. Now is the time I'm gonna add even a deeper tone underneath, right underneath here. I want to make that to be the darkest color for the entire painting. I'm gonna just mix with the blue colors with the red. Right here. That's good. Now what I want to do now, I'm going to switch back to working into the leaf. So I'm going to get a little yellow colors to mix it with these dark colors and maybe a little bit more blue. A little bit more blue here. That's good. But it's a little bit too bright, so I'm going to mix with a little bit yellow, a little bit red colors. See, this is a good color. I already have some red in this dark mixture. Okay, here we go. Now working into this a little darker tone. Coming down. And now I'm going to change the color. It has a little bit more red coming down there. So pay attention to the temperature of the colors. I'm going to use the red and mix with this colors. Here you go. It actually looks like a lot more red. Okay, that's good. And I'm going to work into the leaf. Now, what I want to do, I'm going to work into this big shape. Okay. Like that, that's good. There's another triangle shape right here. And some little soft shape coming in here. And I want to use a little lighter color to connect it to the light side. That's good. And I want to get this a little edge come back by lifting up this area. There you go. That's a good suggestion. Now I want to use a smaller brush. I'm going to change this number 4 brush. I'm going to start going into this side. The shape a little bit smaller. First, we'll start with a lighter tone and then add the darker colors. So these two colors would connect it and softly connect it together. Okay. And then up here, start with a darker color on this, actually the shadow side. Like this, good. Now on this side, I have a little bit more orange colors. because reflected from the other side, which is the orange. I'm just going to add this orange color into this area. So get a feeling of actually the color affecting each other. Okay. And also here too, it has a little orange color right here. Now what I want to do is I want to clear this to make this a little bit cleaner. So you can use this brush to make it a little, remove some of the orange color and also make it a little lighter at the same time. I'm going to come back to do a little bit more rendering, and I'm going to here to give it a little cleaner and actually have a little bit more bluish colors. So I'm going to first make it a little lighter. That's good. When you see a color, you also need to see the value of the colors, which is how dark is that color. And get a little bit warmer. That's just a good color for this area. Like that. That's good. Coming down here. I'm going to give it a little bit light yellow colors for the top here. Suggested. That's part of the stand. Okay, that's good. What I want to do now, I want to give a little bit sharper contrast. Add a little bit red. Okay, that's good. I don't want to do too much with this dark colors, but this area here, I want to give it a little sharper, a little bit darker here, a little bit on the edge over here, and here can be darker too, coming down. Okay, let's see. On the other side, it has a little dark shade. And let's see. This can be a little darker, a little bit deeper. And what I want to do, I'm going to add a little bit darker tone, but it's not very dark, to here to give it a little bit for the leaf. Okay, that's good. That probably not need to be so light. So add a little green color back to that. Now let's take a look. What else do we need to do to finish this painting? And I think over here we need to use the big brush now and do a little cleanup for the edge, and also here it should be a little lighter. Just use the corner of my flat brush. Connect that too. That's good. And we're going to come in here to make the edge a little bit softer now. A little softer. Just the clean water. Nothing else. And over here I want to have it a little softer too. it up. That's good. And actually in this area I have some orange color on the table. So what I want to do, I'm going to just take these colors, maybe a little bit more yellow, a little bit, keep it a little bit more fresh. But it doesn't really need that much color, so I get a little bit more water here. Good. Let's see. I'm going to just put this color because the color, the lighting hit the light side and actually bounce the color onto the table. So it looks good. A little bit extended. That's good. Now what I want to do, I'm going to have this soften and fade away to the environment. Like this. Let's see what else do we need to do. I'm going to add a little bit small details. Let's see. Get a little bit more red for the leaf. Over here. A bit detail here. You can see a little bit of the other side of the leaf. Like that. And this can be a little darker. And the stamp here. Now what I want to do, I'm going to give a little bit suggestions for the texture. So I'm going to mix with the color for the texture, get a little bit yellow, a little bit darker tone of the orange colors, a little bit more yellow, looking at it and this side. And this is good because this is already dry. So whatever color you put in now is a little bit more defined. But also, you don't want to get too much distractions by those texture. And so we're going to see. Just a little suggestions. Keep it a little bit random. And we're going to come in to remove some if they don't need to be there. Okay, that's good. Now what I want to do also, I want to have that side a little bit lighter. It looks a little bit too dark. So what I want to do is just use my big brush. It just soften the area. And I have the color. Make the color a little bit lighter. Like that. Some leaf I want to have a little bit brighter on the light side. I'm going to add a little yellow color into it. A little bit yellow color. Okay, here you go. Over here. I should have a little yellow color to it. It looks brighter. Okay, only for the light side. The top here, just add a little bit color in so it's not so pale. After a little bit more adjustment to the shadow side and the texture, now the painting is finished.